discus lariat.
The huge suplex.
Welcome to another edition of Thoughts Count Anywhere, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, the bells out of tradition was to honor one Jay Briscoe, who, as you all know, lost his life in a terrible automobile accident in his home state of Delaware. We'll talk about Jay, and we've got at least one picture I know that will be kind of nice to show. But again, thoughts and prayers go out to the wrestling world, as well as, of course, the Briscoe family, his daughters, the wife, and also the family that was also affected the other side of the accident. So I don't know if any news came out as to how the accident happened. Bottom line is that a great competitor in the world of professional wrestling was lost this past week. And again, we thank you, as is our tradition as well. Good morning, Ronald. Thomas is not here today, so you don't have to worry about that. We'll send him a quick shout out. Thomas is a little under the weather today. I think he's just kind of staying hibernated in order to watch his Bills tomorrow, and he's kind of getting ready in game shape. Of course, as always, joining me on our show, far right, the man who is the biggest 49ers fan this side of the Mississippi, Mr. Matt Mullen. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm hanging in there. And, of course, the man in the middle, simply known as the Chief.
Good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Excellent. You look sharp today. You got a new shirt, new hat, I noticed.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
My man.
That's it. We'll talk more about that. Good morning, Jennifer. Ronald, you were in a head-on collision. When was that? I hope that wasn't recent. Holy cow. So we got a lot to go talk about today. Of course, 1 week from today is Royal Rumble. A lot of speculation about the who's and what fors of possible surprises. One surprise was very quickly eliminated Monday night with Cody, and I think everybody saw that come up. We'll get to all of that in a little bit. How was your week? I know you'll get to story time, but overall, how was your week?
It was good. No complaints. It was kind of cold, but no real issues.
Oh, that's good. All right. Chief, how about you? Good week?
Yes, sir. Very good week.
All
Very
right.
good. Other than the cold weather.
Yes, it's been cold here. I think this morning when I got in my car to get here, we were like 2 or 3 degrees above freezing. So keep that in perspective, if you will. But it's still not like up in Buffalo where they had 20,000 feet of snow a couple of weeks ago. So, all right.
It just bothers my neuropathy.
Oh, absolutely. The bones and the aches, and when temperatures fluctuate as quickly as they do, there's all the sinus headaches and things like that.
Yes.
Thomas Burnett, our historian. He is a little under the weather, so he's at home, and I expect to see comments from him in the chat room, which means we'll just properly ignore them like we always do from him. But anyway, you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for
Story time with Matt. Story time.
All story time with the enforcer, Matt Mullen.
I got a story time, but it didn't even involve me this time.
it didn't involve you.
I was in my office, and I was watching the cameras, and this guy started like swinging on his girlfriend, like right in front of Denny's.
Oh boy.
So I like went to get up and like get over there, and I see like 2 cops coming into the hallway, and they started yelling at him, and he took off running, and they ran after him. Like right in the middle of the courtyard, he realized he was about to get caught. So he decided to shove the cop that was running, and then the other cop tackled him, and it was on.
Were you there like calling it like live action, like wrestling, or were you there as a referee? I mean, were you getting into it there? Were you rooting them on?
Yeah, I was rooting Metro on, but when I went out there, he was screaming he was just screaming all sorts of nonsense. But the crazy part was the girlfriend that was getting beat up tried to attack one of the cops.
Not good.
Because she was like, I love him, don't arrest him. So they both ended up going to jail.
Oh, geez. Oh, yikes. Listen, takes all kinds. One of the things people love to do when they come to Vegas, my wife and I like to do this, we go, is people watch. You can sit down, pull up a bench on Fremont Street for an hour,
Yes.
right? And the things you would see down there would probably blow your mind.
We
right?
pretty much decided to change the logo from Vegas to what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas to come on vacation, leave on probation.
I like that.
I like that.
Let's send that into the convention authority.
I
See,
like
what,
that.
see what
I
kind of
like
response you got. A lot going on. Okay, gotcha. So Ronald clarified for me that he was involved in a head-on collision. The other driver swerved into Jay's lane. So that's kind of what Ronald is sharing with us as now. Okay, a lot going on. We got a lot of rumors to talk about. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about. Let's get to it. Also, please make sure you continue to put your comments into the chat room for us. We will address them and see them live as well. Shall we get started, gentlemen?
Certainly.
Rumor is WWE is leaning toward non-traditional Royal Rumble surprises. What could fall under the paragraph of non-traditional?
X-Lax.
To make the show run smooth?
Yes.
There you go.
I don't know. That's what I was kind of curious for. It seems like past Royal Rumbles, the safe bet is always
The returns.
the same people coming back. It's
Yeah.
always Trish Lita.
Right? Mm-hmm.
The same couple legends always show up. Maybe the non-traditional ones they're going to bring in some independent guys
Okay.
or Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona hopefully show up.
Well, I've
The
seen
Chiefs' wonderful, hopeful dreams come true, and Matt Cardona returns to WWE.
I've seen something about Tatanka. They had asked Tatanka to come back, and unfortunately, he had to bow out gracefully because his son was wrestling in the state tournament
Oh, wow.
for the title. So he told him, he said that he wasn't going to be.
Well, Tatanka has appeared in the past in Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was going to be on Raw 30 on Monday.
Thank you.
Raw
and then
30, yep.
He was advertised for a couple of weeks, and then he said his son was
Yep.
in a tournament. He goes, I'm bowing out of Raw 30. I have to be there for my kids.
See, I got confused. Sorry. That's not hard to do for me, though.
But in the
folks.
past, though, Tatanka has shown up in Royal Rumbles, right?
Yes.
So is that really a non-traditional thing
No.
for Royal Rumble? Not really, because he's been there in the past. Okay.
Yeah.
So what could it be? Could it be Indies? Could it be the Forbidden Door opening up a little more, perhaps? Are they do that? Does it not have anything to do with the Royal Rumble matches itself, but maybe some stuff within the Royal Rumble card pay-per-view, or I'm sorry, PLE, Premium Live. Hey, Garth, glad you're in the chat room, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. All right. Make sure you feel better, dude. All right.
It's a Forbidden Door opening. I can only imagine like who could possibly show up.
I mean, other than a dark Mountain Dew pitch black match is something non-traditional.
How about Simmons and JBL coming out?
APA,
APA.
That's not bad.
That'd be all right.
all right, in a match or participating in the Rumble or just coming out.
Just coming out. How about Alpha and Sika?
They'll probably be on Raw, actually.
They own a wrestling company. So,
Yeah.
So they still get in the ring.
In San Antonio, where they? I'm just curious. Do you
No,
know where it
they're,
is?
they're wrestling.
Yeah, the wrestling school.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's in
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
I wonder if they're going to show up on Monday Night Raw because they did say that the Roman Reigns
The Acknowledge Me party or something.
acknowledge me party or whatever
Yeah.
the hell they were calling it said all generations of the family were going to show up.
Wow.
To me,
Except for one.
to me, if you
Don't smell it.
if you don't have Alpha and Sika and Rock's mom there, then you don't have the family there. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, you don't have the whole as they say in Yiddish, the whole mishpucha.
Exactly. And if you don't understand, that means the whole family.
That's right, in Yiddish. Very good. Yeah, you did learn very well.
Thank you.
Garth believes that it'll include more independent guys and girls this time around.
Pretty cool.
Who do you think, Garth?
Yeah, throw some names in there.
Throw us a couple names.
Throw some names in there. In the meantime, we'll move on to the next topic within I Hear Rumors.
Where are we at? Rumors.
Garth says The Rock turns on Roman, although, before we go on to the next one, recent news in the last couple of days is that chances of The Rock showing up at WrestleMania, for whatever reason, schedule-wise, seem to be declining now. is what we've been reading. Truth or not, maybe it's part of the storyline, make it think he's not coming, and then all of a sudden he'll show up somewhere somehow.
The hype.
Part of the hype, the hype, we want him, Rock's not going to be there, and all of a sudden you hear his music hit, that kind of thing. But
wouldn't it be interesting if The Rock showed up with Ronda Rousey?
Like at that one WrestleMania event when it was Tripp and but
when it was Triple H and
Stephanie.
Yep.
But Rock face. Ronda is now being perceived as a heel. Is that a good pairing come WrestleMania? And I know we talk about the heel face stuff all the time, but I'm just going to put that out there.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I mean, you look at what my girl Rhea did last night. Got in my other buddy's face.
Solo. Yeah.
So
yeah, anything can happen for sure.
You don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Rumor is The Rock has talked to higher ups in WWE saying he won't wrestle at WrestleMania as he doesn't have time to get into ring shape. He wants to main event. So does he want to really want a main event, or is he just trying to throw us off the scent, which is what we were just talking about? No, I'm not going to do it. But then all of a sudden, last minute, Roman gets into a storyline of trying to coax him like we've seen those storylines in the past,
Sure.
And perhaps that can turn that. Ronda Rousey, it's interesting you bring her name up. Rumor is Ronda Rousey was supposed to have a one-on-one match at Royal Rumble, but now they say she won't be working the event. But I read during the week that she feels she wants to kind of bow down out of the singles competition, and now she's interested in working more of the tag team with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
So that's really a big change in direction for her. Although I think fans have been kind of clamoring for these two to be together for years.
Oh yeah,
because of the MMA background.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that it's coming late. What do you see out of the women's division for the tag titles now that these two seem to be cementing themselves into that part of the card?
They formed themselves a real tag team. They're going to end up winning the tag titles at WrestleMania for sure.
Okay.
I tend to agree with that.
Okay.
Because to be honest with you, if they win the belts, I don't think there's anybody in the women's division.
Well, certainly not the two that have it. Maybe we can get it back.
As a tag team.
Right.
The only ones that would come to my mind would be a tag team of something like Charlotte and Gonzalez.
I'd say put Rhea and Gonzalez together. It'd be
that would be a good combo.
Yeah, I like that. Or Shotzi. There are individual women within WWE.
Right.
And if you could combine them together, they would make good tag teams. But
he said Shotzi.
Yeah.
A couple of comments in the chat room.
Wrestle her way out of a wet paper bag.
Shotzi's a hell of a lot better than Chelsea Green.
Couple
That's for damn sure.
You want to watch Botchamania and see how much time Shotzi's on there?
Hey, let's see who's in WWE right now. Shotzi, and where's Chelsea Green at? I think she's
Signed
wrestling.
WWE?
She's wrestling with Impact, isn't she?
No, she
comes back Saturday.
Oh, does she?
She won't out.
For sure.
Well, that's the
So she
speculation.
signed a contract.
Oh, let's see. We'll see.
All right, some other comments in the chat room. Garth says The Rock turns on Roman. He also threw in Cardona and Green as some of the possibilities. The surviving Briscoe brother.
That's the one comment.
Would be awesome.
I like that comment.
And then Garth sends us off to break with the following comment. Rousey can suck a fart. With that, you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. Come to you live from WWDBTV Network here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right, Frozen Vegas. That's Matt. I'm Chief. Please don't go anywhere. We got so much more to do, and we'd be doing it very lonely without you. So please stay there. We'll be right back.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, a.k.a. Marty the Mob, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Seppa Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dash and Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Davari. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
1,
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hobbit hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. The Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the Essential Character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
There we go.
There you have it. There's our dedication picture to Jay Briscoe with our good friend here, Matt. How long ago was this picture taken, if you don't mind me asking?
That was the last time Ring of Honor was here, so maybe like 2-3 years ago.
Okay,
right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
What was he like? Did you get a chance to chat with him? I mean, give us your take on him.
Literally, he's one of the nicest human beings in the wrestling profession. Every time, like, he would always go out, interact with fans. He'd have, like, usually most wrestlers, you get, like, hey, how you doing? Thanks for being a fan. And they go out on their way. And he'll go out of your way to have, like, a 10, 15-minute conversation and just shoot the shit. And it was always, like, super entertaining. And it's a huge loss to the wrestling profession.
Absolutely.
That's why they're called Dem Boys.
That's right. So, again, Jay Briscoe and family, the Briscoe's family and everybody, heartfelt thoughts and prayers and condolences, not only from us here, but our entire fan base.
Even then, he was in like a bloody match.
I
was
saw
still
that.
like
I saw
taking
that, yeah.
pictures with everybody.
I
He was
saw
like,
that.
"Oh, did you guys enjoy the show? Thanks for coming out. I really appreciate you guys."
The good thing is I want to believe that there are more wrestlers in general that do those kind of things where they take their time with fans. Unfortunately,
No.
There aren't that many that do what he does to the extent that he does.
Not many.
Out of every 10 wrestlers, give me an idea as to how many would do what Jay does or did that night.
2.
Really? 20%?
You stole my number.
Okay, all right.
Of like big name, like minus like local independent wrestlers, maybe, but like
unlike wrestlers that we know,
right?
I agree with Matt too.
As far as like wrestlers that are well known on TV, all that kind of stuff, yeah, like 2 out of 10 maybe.
Well,
that's being generous.
Well, I look at the commercial, like you said, the commercial that we ran with all of the folks that we've interviewed or we ran into at some of the signings at Power Play Sports. We got to know them a little bit.
He's the anti-Jordan Grace.
We got to know them, and so I guess to me, I guess when the spotlight's off, I always hope that people are going to still treat them, be the person, not the performer.
Genuine.
That's the one. Thank you.
He's a genuine good guy.
All right. Well, there you have it. I guess nothing could be better said within the wrestling world other than being a great performer with his brother and the accolades that they've gotten over the years.
Exactly.
All right. Let's move on. Let's get into the WWE report coming up in about 10 minutes. Going to want to stay tuned for the Chiefs rant. He's got something ready to rock and roll, I'm sure. Let's go. Let's go to something I alluded to at the beginning regarding our buddy Cody Rhodes. So for months and months and months and months, there was huge speculation of his return to the Rumble. Everybody thought it was going to be a secret. Part of the surprise is he's going to come back like when John Cena tore his pec muscle that one year and MSG, he comes out number 30, right? Surprise everybody. But it became so obvious. Do you think the WWE made the right move in actually formally announcing that Rhodes will be part of the Royal Rumble match?
Go for it, Chief.
I think it's hard today with all the podcasts, all the writings and everything to really be able to keep something secret.
Okay.
All right. We've speculated on here that Cody was come back for the Rumble.
Right.
All right. Well, there's so many people that put it out there.
Right.
My thinking is WWE just said, you know what, the heck with it. We're going to put it out there and make it official.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it? No. I would much rather it be secret and him just show up. And to me that makes that makes it that much more better for the average wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was kind of disappointed. I'm kind of excited they announced it, because if the big secret was Cody Rhodes going to be at the Royal Rumble and they announced it,
Mm-hmm.
and they always want to keep secrets for the Royal Rumble.
Right.
So if that was leaked out by WWE, what the hell do they actually have planned
Exactly.
for Saturday?
Stone Cold coming back.
It's in Texas.
I would not be mad at that at all.
Undertaker
coming back. Booker T coming back.
I've heard Booker T's name come up an awful lot.
Yeah.
Do you really think The Undertaker could go? I mean, listen, Royal Rumble, you can just be in there for a minute or two, make your appearance, throw one person out, get thrown out, and everybody will be happy. Because no one realistically would think that an Undertaker or Steve Austin would win the thing at this stage of the wrestling game.
Right.
Do you think Taker would come back for a Rumble?
No.
Okay.
He said he was done, so I don't think he's gonna.
No, he's supposed to appear down there unless it's just for all the
He's
Royal
for
Rumble
the
weekend.
he's doing his one-man
One-man
show thing down there.
Okay.
But once he said he's done, I don't think he would want to like spend. He said it takes him like 6 weeks to get ready for a match.
Right.
He's not going to take 6 weeks of his life to
go in for 2 minutes.
Go in for 2 minutes of a Royal Rumble to get eliminated.
Okay. I don't think he would go in for just 2 minutes. To be honest with you, and we know, in previous clips, we've seen him work out at a ring, and and it looked like a warehouse building,
right,
which might be on his property,
right.
Therefore, he could be working out,
right,
and we not know it,
right.
Okay. I'll say this. I'll say two things. Never say never.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is the money's got to be right.
Sure. Absolutely. Next Saturday night, I will be up in San Jose, California, hosting a gala event. So I'm going to be looking at my text messages, fellas, for you guys to keep me in the loop as to what's going to go on with Royal Rumble next week. All right, let's go.
I'll have it on.
Okay. Keep me in the loop, please.
I'll keep you in the skinny.
All right. Let's move on. A couple of employment changes within WWE. They let go longtime WWE employee Adam Hopkins, who is close to Triple H. He was part of the communications arm of the company, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
You know how hard I laughed when I saw this?
Probably him and Vince didn't see eye to eye.
Because if you go to the corporate website to try to get like people to be on like your podcast or something,
right.
You have to email him. And that guy never responds to anything.
Maybe
I've emailed this dude like 100 times.
Maybe you hollered loud enough and Vince finally seen it and fired his ass.
That's right. He's not responding to TCA.
Damn right.
You're fired. And then Devon Dudley announced that he has left WWE as producer after 6 years and after recently coming back as well. Is there more to this than just him resigning, or what do you think? Because Vince is the one that let him go the first time, right?
Yeah.
Could it be Vince related that he didn't want to stick around for Vince coming back? Well, I mean, it's all speculation.
I have no idea. I didn't do any research on it. I wonder if he's got children and, he got a son or a daughter playing sports or something. And, he wants to do that now. I know he thanked, of course, he thanked Bubba for all the years that he was, they wrestled together as tag team. And, you never know. It's hard to say what goes on in the WWE.
Do we see him showing up in Impact to support Bully?
I was literally going to say, I bet you he shows up as a producer at No Surrender.
And not even as a producer, but even coming out with Bully at some point, because now Bully and Tommy Dreamer are at odds.
Yeah. Well, if they bring Santino Marella back, anything can happen.
And did they bring Ernie Ladd back this week too, or one of those guys from yesteryear's his assistant?
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yeah.
He showed up too.
Anything can happen.
That is so,
you know what though? Hey, I like stuff like that. That's the unexpected, and that's what makes it fun. All right. You know what? I mean, we're getting Impact out here next month.
Right.
I would love to meet Santino Marella.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love to meet Ernest the Cat Miller, from WCW days.
Yep. He also wrestled in WWE a short time.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And to me, You know, when Santino come out on the pay-per-view, nobody was expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it interesting with his little badge and
Right,
everything.
and
you know.
DOA on his
Yeah,
jacket.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Now he used his old WWE name because the trademark for that name expired in 2021 and WWE never renewed it.
Well, hopefully he did.
Yeah, he did because
He
he's
got it
using it.
now.
Yeah,
He's got it.
And on top of that, I saw also too that Matt Cardona then filed the trademark for Zack Ryder.
Good.
So
Good.
it'd be interesting now
Now, I wonder if Santino can do the snake or WWE's got that trademarked.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a great question, but I would think if they didn't trademark the name, they probably wouldn't have trademarked anything else for him. I would think that if he comes out with the snake, it'd be pretty cool, to be honest with you. The Cobra.
Or he comes out as Santina.
Oh,
that would be hilarious, man. I would see. Hey, that's for you young folk that don't know what we're talking about. You need to go back. How many years would you say? 10, 15?
10 years easily.
10 years? Go back and put in Santina Morello. And it's actually Santino.
Dress and drag.
Because he doesn't like the flippy shit in wrestling, but he likes Santina Morella.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, hey,
this is what
that's no.
I just heard.
That's no worse than the guy that's the congressman from New York now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the latest?
Go ahead.
They put pictures up yesterday of him in drag down in Brazil.
I heard about that.
And one of the help me out here. One of the higher people that dress and drag down in Brazil,
right?
That is well respected.
Oh yeah, I saw one of the politicians down there. I saw
said that it was him, and he's denying it now.
Jeez.
So, hey, and don't get me wrong, I love everybody, but I don't like liars, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's nuts. Okay. We're going to go back to the situation around Jay Briscoe for a moment. WWE apparently had some sort of funeral segment planned on NXT, but because of the tragic loss of Jay Briscoe, they canceled it, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Similar to when Chris Benoit's story happened,
yes.
They did this whole thing the week before that with the limousine blowing up on McMahon, and they totally stopped that storyline as well. Apparently, Warner and Discovery Media stopped AEW from running a tribute show on TV because of past homophobic tweets that Jay had stated in the past. Do you know do we have any ideas what the timetable was when those comments were made by him, allegedly?
No.
I'm just
like
curious.
4 or 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago? Okay.
But even then, once you apologize, people say shit, get over it. They were stopping. That's why the Briscoes never debuted on AEW TV, because Warner
nixed it.
Wow. A couple times.
Okay.
You know, how far do we have to go in society and in life itself? We have all made mistakes sometime in our life. And that's why the man up above gives us a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance. But when you apologize profusely and corporate America nicks it.
That was in 2013.
Thank you, Matt. 2013, fans, that's 10 years ago, according to my calculation, and the 3/4 half-timers kicked in.
And no need for an abacus.
Exactly. So that makes me wonder what the higher-ups think. And I wonder if their higher-ups have made mistakes in their lives. And I'll just leave it at that.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to get on a rant.
If it's you got another rant coming up here in a moment.
Yeah, I do.
But if it's a one case situation and he apologized for it, et cetera,
Yes, he did.
Cool. If someone, I'm not saying Jay, but if where there's smoke, there's fire. If someone has gone out and made comments or has done things continuously.
You can use me.
No, I'm not going to.
You know, you can.
I'll use Chief as an example.
You can pick on me.
So when he takes out a kendo stick, for instance,
Exactly.
when unsuspecting performers get clobbered in the back of the leg while they're standing on the apron, and he does it one time, okay, he'll apologize.
Yeah.
But then when it happens over and over and over, apologies aren't worth anything after a while because you keep swinging the stick.
And I'm damn good at it.
You are. All right. They still have, I believe they had where I had the note here, so bear with me. AEW ran a tribute show after Dynamite and flew people in for it last minute. That will air later on the Honor Club. Ronald says, but yet they still have Dana White's video showing showing that he slapped his wife, Dana White. And there has really not been much talk about that since. Ironically, he put together that slapping federation sport, which I actually saw a few minutes of it during the week on ESPN. And I was just watching. I was in another room and I heard the slaps and I was hurting.
I watched the whole show. It was something.
Anything to make money.
Jeez. But anyway, they're right about that. Dana White, the video is there, right?
Yeah.
And nothing's been done of it.
There's a big difference when you're like an employee, like professional wrestler, or you're the president of the company.
Well, but even Vince, though, with all of the allegations, he was forced to do something, or he did something in response to that stuff. It didn't last for long. It lasted for 6-7 months, but at least there was enough heat on him that he acquiesced.
I just seen Vince settled some lawsuit with one of the referees.
Oh, I did see that. Yes,
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that. There were some allegations there.
It cost him a few bucks.
Just a few.
Yeah.
He was put into a submission hold and he lost. Anyway, with that, you know what time it is? We're going to gear up the Tasmanian Devil here, normally called Chief. He's got something special planned for us, which you've been watching the show on our desk here. I believe one of the items in the front of our desk here may be part of it. So with that, without further ado, it is now time for the Chief's Rant.
Don't Jerry Lawler yourself.
You're doing CPR then.
You're gonna.
There you go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Chief. My 3 minutes of fame is now 2:58. Not really. I take as long as I want. Anyway,
Want a bet?
we go. You want to see me do it? Anyway,
Filibuster the show.
I could do that. I want to do a little bit of history today.
I like this history.
Okay. I was watching did we have an earthquake or something?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, the table was moving. Anyway, I was watching Top Rope Collectibles. And good friend, Mr. Donnie Morris, and I'm going to shout him out. And I'm going to say it again. Mr. Donnie Morris was doing a show selling wrestling. And up came this program that I'll show, and hopefully we can get a close-up when I turn it over to Mr. Aaron. This is a wrestling program from 1983, 40 years old, from Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of wrestling. And on the front page of it, the front cover, you'll see there that it has the Fabulous Moolah, it has Bob Backlund, and you'll see Mr. Rocky Johnson, the Rock's dad, has Don Morocco and stretching him out. This is the type of program that they had back at the wrestling matches. $2. Okay, $2. Today, what's the program's run for WWE? 30 bucks?
25?
25? $2, fans. And let's take it out. Let's take it
I'll
out.
give that to you to do.
Right. You don't trust yourself?
No, because if I bend a page, I know what'll happen.
You wouldn't bend the page. You wouldn't bend the page.
I know.
It's what?
Folks, as I was showing that, you may have noticed part of the cover was fading in and out. That's because the yellow with our background kind of will fade it out. But you see the majority of the cover, which is good. So
Anyway, the one thing I want to show you, the back page. All right. So when you went in to buy the program, it listed the 10 or 11 matches that were going to be on the card that night. All right. And I'm not sure who's on the back there.
well, that's the Sarge.
Oh God.
So you had Bob. Well, the main event for the World
go ahead.
Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship was one fall, 60-minute time limit. Was Bob Backlund, the champion, taking on Sergeant Slaughter. That was the main event. Morocco versus Rocky Johnson. Fabulous Moolah, Princess Victoria. Wild Samoa #1, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Dusty Rhodes taking on Wild Samoa #2. Now, these names are just, they're taking me back.
But listen to this card.
Ivan Koloff takes on Jules Strongbow. Eddie Gilbert takes on Ray the Crippler Stevens. Chief J Strongbow, Iron Mike Sharp. Leilani Kai, my goodness. Susan Starr. Salvatore Balomo taking on Charlie Fulton, my goodness. Don Kernodle, Baron Mikhail Cicluna. And last but not least, it was Big Suede Hansen taking on an opponent to be named. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. They were able to print this because at the previous show, they were already announcing the matches.
The previous show, they announced the matches. Yeah, $2.
Now we got WWE Creative that tries to figure out Monday Night Raw matches Monday afternoon.
But you got here's the thing, and you get on my ass, and I love it. But here's the thing, that was Vince's dad.
Yeah,
doing the creative.
Yeah.
You can open it.
Yeah, I'm trying to show a good page here.
And so it was there in hand. The groundwork was laid down for him. And unfortunately, today, you're right. They go in, there are some storylines. I totally agree with you. But 9 times out of 10, I think I agree with you. I think creative's trying to figure it out the day of the show.
Yeah.
And this is the look at Dusty, man. Mua and Princess Victoria. I need to see Princess Victoria. There you go. Look at that. Iron Mike Sharp. He was great. I loved him. To own Monster Factory in Jersey. He was a trainer for a long, long time. Chief J Strongbow, there's a good one.
I loved when he did Hulk Hogan hulking up before Hulk Hogan even knew what it was. Because Chief J, when he'd get riled up, he'd get the headdress on and he would start doing the war dance around the ring. That was hulking up before hulking was even a thought.
And see, fans, here's the thing you have to understand. And I haven't said this part. This is where I grew up. And I have thought back, and more than likely, I was probably at this show at Madison Square Garden because I used to go every month.
I'm noticing on the cover, it's from 1983, and it says in the top corner here, WWF Championship Wrestling. This was even after WWWF. Triple WF is what they called it, Worldwide Wrestling Federation. And then they trimmed one of the W's off
to make it worldwide
in 1983. Now, the people
this would have been when they were doing the show on USA Network, Titan Sports.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Titan Sports.
Titan Sports.
Jeez.
But you look at May 23rd, 1983.
That's what, 40 years?
40 years old.
Half your age.
Just about, yeah. I just turned 70, so 30 years, yeah. So I mean, realistically, though, to be able to obtain this, and you want to talk about going back childhood dreams and stuff. Here's childhood dreams right here. At least for me.
Well, that was 10 years after I had started following wrestling. This was in the prime of my start of wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Bob Backlund beat superstar Billy Graham for that title in MSG in '76.
Well, like you said to me before the show today, you've had the honor of interviewing.
I have. It's still on YouTube. Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah.
You know, I just thought this was a
fun piece.
A fun piece.
Yeah.
I picked it up, and you know, again, shout out to Donnie. Donnie, thank you very much for putting it up, and I'm glad I grabbed it. It was well worth it, and I hope you got a few more that I may pick up from you and bring them into the studio, and we can go over them.
In May of 1983, my mom was 5 months pregnant with me.
I'm sorry.
The program's older than him.
Anyway, folks, that's the Chiefs rant for today. Over and out.
I like Jennifer's comment there. She says, those wrestlers look like they were entertaining.
You want to comment?
No. I just smiled when I read the comment because, yes, they were entertaining, but they're entertaining.
For then, yes.
Yeah, but at that time, they were entertaining around wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, it's maybe a little wrestling around entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
did you see anything interesting about this card?
All of the names were just crazy. But go ahead. What are you pointing out?
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yes.
Don Kernodle, one of the best tag teams to hold the championship belts.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That was before my time. I did not know that they were teammates.
Down in the Mid-Atlantic area.
Gotcha. Isn't Sarge coming out to Vegas soon for another show or something? Yeah. So maybe we get a little something in there with him. But that's great. I love that. That's fun. Just to read those names and notice how many names are on that card, or how many matches are on that card.
Notice how many Hall of Famers are on that card.
Absolutely.
How many matches do we normally get at a WWE or a AEW show?
6 to 7, maybe for
maybe
a 3-hour
like
card.
a Dynamite or Raw, or like
you talking about
their main one, their main show.
You talking about a pay-per-view?
Like WrestleMania?
Yeah. What would you say?
Well, now that it's 2 nights, it's almost unfair. But
no, we won't count.
We
won't count.
The last one was 10 before they split to 2 nights. I think
12 shows, folks,
and done in less than 3 hours.
12 matches. Excuse me, 12 matches. And here's the thing: New York, they had to be off
curfew
by
11
o'clock. The show started at 8.
Yep.
It was a 3-hour show with 12 matches.
So let's keep in mind, and back in those days, you did not have the corporate sponsors and all the commercials and all the other stuff that stretches out. They didn't have a pre-show for an hour with a match or two that probably off that card could have been on a pre-show at the time.
Now here's the interesting thing. May 1983. Go back to the back. Remember, fans, here in Madison Square Garden Wrestling Friday night, June the 17th, 1983 at 8 p.m. They're already announcing the month forward.
Right.
The night of this show.
And the specialty shows at MSG were once a quarter.
Yes.
Every 3 months. That was it. You didn't have something every month.
No.
Which made it even more special when Howard Finkel would climb into the ring. And now, off the heels of tonight's match, at our next show, next time in Madison Square Garden, Ivan Koloff will face Sergeant Slaughter again, whatever. And they already started announcing the matches for the following quarter, which made the now what they call the PLVs or PLEs that much more special because we had them once a quarter. Here, you see,
kind of why I like AEW pay-per-views more than WWE's because they're only once a quarter.
Exactly, and that's what adds a little sparkle and shine to them because they are treated separately and special because of that. All right, I just got a phone call here on the old flippy phone. It's time for a break. So you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. Me and the boys, me, my dear friends here talking wrestling. We'll be right back.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere, because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? I just wonder, is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
Hey, everybody, I am Aaron Phillips. You are?
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDBTV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
We're back. Welcome back. Anyway. Hey,
Train back on track.
that was you. All right, go to the penalty box.
I didn't do it this time.
3 minutes.
I am in the penalty box.
Hey,
I'm going to throw a yellow flag.
thank you.
544 seconds.
Thank you.
Oh,
Now I'm done.
11 more
Now I'm done.
Thank you.
Well, 5:33. That's what it was.
5:33.
Thank
My
you
bad.
for allowing me to have a few extra minutes.
Oh, that was fun, Chief. I love that. That was great.
Awesome. Even I enjoyed
Hey, but by the way, Samstown, Saturday, February 25th, Sunday, February 26th.
Yeah.
Sports cards, toys, and collectibles show brought to you by Power Play Sports Collectibles, our good friend Scott Hosey. Also, Impact is going to be here that same weekend. So, Impact No Surrender, Friday, February 24th at Samstown. Impact Fallout, Saturday, February 25th at Samstown. And Sunday, Impact Fallout Night 2, Sunday, February 26th. Impact Game Day, Captain Ticket, My Four Sons, The Pop Shack. And I know I botched this up last time. What is that name? Who is that designs? Chadman. We got to fix your font, Mr. Printer.
Chadman.
Let's see, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., $5 admission, Samstown Hotel and Gambling Hall. Oh, and by the way, if that's not enough of an incentive, from 9 to 11, Thoughts Count Anywhere, we'll be doing a live show broadcast from there as well. And hopefully we'll have some help getting some Impact wrestlers with us and who knows whatever else. And then from 12 to 1, some guy named Aaron Phillips hosts a crazy show, Aaron's Hour. He's going to be there also doing a show from 12 to 1, possibly with more Impact wrestlers. We'll have some fun down there. So mark your calendars. Saturday, February 25th, 26th, 10 to 6 p.m., Samstown Sports Cards, Toys, and Collectibles show brought to you by Power Play Sports Collectibles. $5 admission, Samstown Hotel and Gambling Hall.
Be there because the chief said so.
They do okay?
Outstanding.
Excellent. Ronald says, the wrestling promotion that I'm involved with, try to do a show every other month. Chief Gary Galaxy told me to tell you hello back. Oh, I love Gary. I remember.
Yeah, buddy.
I was at his last match when he wrestled for Versus. I had the opportunity to call that when he retired.
Yep.
So, Ronald, what promotion do you work for down there? Let us know. All right, let's get back to it while we're waiting on that information. A lot to still talk about. Raw Triple X, Raw 30 coming up this Monday, this week, with a couple of big matches and legends showing up. I believe Hulk and Ric Flair have been confirmed. Is that correct? Any other confirmations for that show that we know of? Probably
Undertaker, Ric Flair.
Undertaker, okay.
The Bellas.
And Ron Simmons, I think, is also supposed to be there. Listen, Baron Corbin, he wrestles on Raw. So he's on Raw. So the likelihood of seeing APA to do something together, like Chief suggested, makes sense to me if you're going to have them both there, right? Maybe have Baron Corbin wear an APA T-shirt also.
I agree.
Well,
Thunder Championship Wrestling. There we go. Thunder
there you go.
Championship Wrestling in Florida.
All right. So, Ronald, why don't you send us stuff about the stuff that goes on down there? We'll share it. We share everybody else's wrestling stuff. So, by the way, you're going to be my future agent, so might as well promote your stuff too. Anyway, surprised Brunette hasn't shown up in the chat room yet. All right.
May not be.
Who else would you like to see show up for 30 next week? Who else do you think would just be like the capper of cappers for Raw 30 next week? Do you think Vincent shows his face?
I think the best ending possible for Raw 30, since the acknowledgement ceremony says all generations of the family will be there.
Mm-hmm.
What if the whole thing with The Rock is just a bunch of bullshit? And he was like, acknowledge me, and has the whole family out there. And at the very end of the show, if you smell,
you hear it, right?
And you just hear The Rock stare him, just see The Rock stare him down from the stage.
And we
don't
talked
say
about that.
shit yet. Don't do nothing.
Wouldn't it be interesting if The Rock and his mom walked out together?
I don't think his mom wants to.
I don't think she needs to be there. I think this is all about The Rock.
That is unbelievable.
She's a good person, but she's never been about the fame ever. So I don't think she's gonna come like out.
No. Other
on stage, like she's always in the crowd, like when he's there.
Other than when she helped promote over in Hawaii.
Yeah. Even that was still behind me.
Which is the storyline right now in Young Rock, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what
I don't watch it.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about that now.
I record it and then I'll go back.
Well, today it didn't happen
because we got some people that we know.
Yes.
That's on it.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's a good show. I mean, again, a little poetic license in writing for shows is normal, but still, it's a good show.
Hello, Luke. You're doing a good job, buddy. Keep it up.
We talked about Reigns fueling this thing with Rock, and I think we said it here a couple of weeks ago. All The Rock has to do is just come out. Doesn't even have to get to the ring. Doesn't need to get nose to nose with him. All he has to do is simply get out on the ramp, let the music play, come out with the glasses, pull down the glasses, give him the eyebrows as if to say, "What are you doing?" Hello, and then just turn around
and walk
out. That's all he has to do. Doesn't have to confront him in any way other than that. I love that idea, and I hope that's what happens.
That'd probably be the biggest pop of the night.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that place would go nuts.
Look, I'm getting goosebumps even thinking if it might happen. That would be tremendous.
Yep.
That would be tremendous.
See, that's what makes good wrestling is when that type of thought from us, because we don't know if it would happen or not.
Yeah.
But if it would happen, it would be huge. You know, that would be a one-off, so to speak. And not to change it, but I watched SmackDown last night, and I got to tell you, my thinking, and I don't know if it's on here, and if it is, I apologize.
I've been jumping all around.
I'm just wondering what's going to happen with Sammy. Okay. Is he going to stay? Is he not going to stay? Seeing how Roman was towards him at the beginning, and then Paul kind of spoke to him last night, and then Sammy comes back in and Roman apologizes. Oh, I got temper and this and that. I just wonder, I'm trying to figure out what's the story going to be with Sammy.
Well, Sammy has stated that a WWE title would be the cherry on top of his current run. Would you see him winning the championship?
If they split the titles, yes, for sure.
Okay, so that means somebody would have to, if he could wrestle Roman for one of the titles, or would somebody win one of those titles and Sammy comes and wins that title from said wrestler B?
It would only truly mean anything if he beat Roman for it.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, that's what I was going. What I was going to say was, does that mean that Kevin's going to win the belt at the Royal Rumble, and then Sammy and Kevin have a match at WrestleMania for that belt? Sammy wins it, and then Roman has the other belt. Roman, what they're saying, The Rock's not going to be there, but I don't believe it. I think The Rock's going to be there, and then it's Roman and The Rock for the other belt. I mean, I'm just wondering what their thinking is with Sammy, and what Sammy's thinking, what he wants to do, because as you said, he's got a good creative mind.
Oh yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best on the wrestling scene today as far as putting a storyline together. As long as this storyline's been going on, and then he got included into it, it just made it all that much more better.
And this storyline was not supposed to go anywhere near as long as it has.
Oh, definitely not.
And Sammy has made it go this long as it has, for sure.
In saying that, okay, in saying that about that storyline with the bloodline, do you think the Usos with the tag belts, that storyline was planned out for as long as it's been?
With them maintaining the tag belts?
Yes.
Yes, because I think most of the focus has always been on Roman. I mean, It's great. I mean, I see the Usos have had the title also a record number of days in the history of WWE.
And not saying they're not a good tag team.
Not even
because
saying
they
that at
are.
all. But I think the storyline of Roman, the unified title, the head of the table, acknowledge me, all of that stuff, I think in a way has sort of, I'll just say overshadowed. It's a strong phrase to use.
Okay.
But I don't think people are as locked into them being the undisputed tag team holders as they are with Roman being the undisputed heavyweight champ. Does that make sense?
Okay. So
that's in my opinion.
So here's the next question. On SmackDown last night, they started the tag team tournament. And out of it came
Judgment Day, wasn't it?
Drew and
Sheamus, sorry.
Right. And then El Phantasma, and then Imperium, and I can't think of the last one. My 3/4 halfheimer has kicked in. I can't think of. So you got those 4 tag teams going to wrestle next week.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to come out of the tournament as the number 1 contender to wrestle for the belts against the Usos?
Since the main focus has been Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, I can't see Drew and Sheamus not winning it.
The new version of the bar with Sheamus?
The Bang Bros.
I would personally, I'd like to see Imperium win it.
That would be interesting
because
too.
I think Imperium, and not taking anything away from Drew and Sheamus, okay, at all. But I think Imperium against the Usos would be a heck of a wrestling match. Better movement in the ring. Unfortunately, well, Imperium don't do a lot of flippy shit, so we're okay.
They're more ground and pound like Gunther is.
So we're okay there.
Right.
But you might really see a pretty equal wrestling match. Just my thought.
Yeah, no,
just my thought.
I think what's happening here is that all of a sudden out of the blue, without Vince when he was not around, we're seeing some prominence take place within the tag divisions because we know Vince has never really been a fan of tag team wrestling.
No.
But then all of a sudden we're seeing teams like you just rattled off there come together.
Right.
That's really making the tag picture quite interesting. Now, with Sheamus and Drew now being paired up, what happened to the other 2 guys that Sheamus was working with?
They got beat last night.
No, okay,
They got beat last night.
So Sheamus is no longer involved with them, and then those 2 guys are Butch and Rollin. They're now being.
He still is.
So he's doing both teams. Is there something shady in there? I mean,
maybe there's going to be a one-off match sometime down the road.
Because all of a sudden, if he's with Drew, where's Rich Holland and Butch, all of a sudden they're being cast aside. They lose last night. Wouldn't the storyline make sense if they get upset with Sheamus that he's now spending time over there with Drew? And that would, you know what I'm saying? I just see another storyline.
That might be okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thought. I know we got to go to break here, most Scotia.
No worries.
But you said that Vince doesn't like tag teams.
Correct.
Well, you're absolutely correct, except for one tag team that he loved. And that was Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans. He loved them.
I got to see them back in Linden, New Jersey for a wrestling fundraiser my parents did when I was in high school.
And I think if there were tag teams like that, and I think he sees it in Jimmy and Jay and Sheamus and Drew, thank you. He sees it in those guys. Okay. And I think he sees it in Imperium since they've come up from NXT. They're workers. And so that's what I see. That's where I see those 3 as the tag team.
Excellent. Well, with that, we're going to end hour number 1 right there in the tag discussion. As we come back, a few more storylines from WWE that we want to talk about. Then we'll switch to AEW, Impact. We have pop culture. We have birthdays. We have anything else that you guys would like us to talk about, put it in the chat room. We are monitoring it. Your thoughts and comments and queries, we'll be happy to address them. With that, that's Matt. That's Chief on Marin. Don't go anywhere for hour number 2. We'll be right after this.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
This is John Cena. I just wanted to send you a congratulations on your podcast. Thoughts count anywhere. Because indeed they do. Thoughts are important. I mean, what would we do without them? And how can they not count anywhere? Is there a place that thoughts don't count? I can't think of one. Well, I just wanted to say thank you very much, congratulations, and good luck on the podcast. Thoughts count anywhere, because they do.
We're back.
We are back. Thank you, John Cena. Yes, thoughts do count anywhere. Wherever thoughts are needed, they do count anywhere. Matt Mullen, the Chief. I'm Aaron Phillips. Thomas Burnett, if you've been looking for our historian, we fired his ass for not showing up today. No, he's actually under the weather.
You're fired.
So that's right. You're fired. Kiss my ass club.
He's going to have to join to get back on the show.
Polka dots.
All right. I'm trying to get information from Ronald regarding they don't have any matches yet announced, but I guess Gary does work down there with him. Now listen, Ronald, if you want to know how to run a bell, this is the guy you need to make sure you follow and how to properly ring a bell. And he does sound when Gary's not available. He helps set up the ring, entranceway, breakdown, and all that other stuff. So.
Hey, and I've got an official bell here with Axe and Smash from Demolition.
And who else you have on here? You got a couple others.
Machine Gun and the Big Man.
Doc Gallo.
Yep.
Luke Gallo.
Luke Gallows and Machine Gun signed.
So I just said to Ron, I said, if you're going to be my interim agent, I said, why do you not have me signed to come down to your organization down there to do commentary? What kind of interim agent is that? Anyway, all right, let's get back to it. A couple of things left on the WWE report that I want to put up for discussion, and then we'll move more into the AEW stuff. So let's talk about Bret Hart is opening a bar in Calgary. What kind of bar? Just a regular sports bar kind of thing?
I think he's opening some kind of sports bar. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's
but
good.
He's so popular in that town that it's like instant. That's going to be like an instant busy bar. Instant success.
Well, I'm sure, being that they're from there, I'm sure,
Yeah, the family lineage will rock it.
Sure.
So we also saw, since you brought up SmackDown before we went to break, we saw the return of the Firefly Funhouse, which I'm going to then connect into what you think is going to happen. Alexa Bliss will take on Bianca Belair next week at Royal Rumble for the title. Is there going to be a Bray Wyatt spiritual connection continuing to further along with Alexa at this point? I'm kind of surprised they're going back to the Firefly Funhouse this quickly.
Yeah,
it's not as quick, but
I was kind of surprised they went back to the Firefly Funhouse stuff. I thought they were gonna do some different stuff, but if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I guess it always was entertaining. But I think Alexa Bliss is like Bray Wyatt's gonna get involved in that match or something with like the Uncle Howdy Bray Wyatt thing is gonna help Alexa Bliss win the belt at Royal Rumble.
Wasn't there something where Bray Wyatt's supposed to wrestle Uncle Howdy? Did I see that somewhere?
There's a rumor that Uncle Howdy versus Bray Wyatt might be the match at WrestleMania.
But yet it came out, or he said last week, that he is Uncle Howdy. So how are you going to wrestle yourself?
Oh, no.
Unless
it came out and said they were when Uncle Howdy attacked Bray Wyatt. They're obviously two different people.
Well, yes, for that purpose there was a lot of speculation that we all think it to be.
Right? I believe it is somebody backstage. And
I was really hoping that when Bray come back, Bray was just going to be
himself in some fashion.
Have a little gimmick.
Maybe even get a title.
Yeah, he better get a title eventually. I totally agree. But what they're doing now, bringing this Firefly Fun House or whatever the hell it's called
You
back.
actually said it right.
And my teeth stayed in, so you know, you can applaud for that. Uncle Howdy's one thing, because I do believe, but I don't care about the Firefly Funhouse.
Right.
What do I think is going to happen? I think Alexa is going to beat Bianca for the belt. Even though Bianca is a graduate from UT, I'm going to go against my girl, and I think Alexa's going to beat her for the belt. But I don't want to see Bray get involved in the match. I want to see her beat Bianca herself.
Yeah, legit.
Yes. That's professional wrestling.
I think they're going to stretch that storyline out to WrestleMania with Alexa and Bianca. I think it's going to be a no finish somehow with either Bray or Uncle Howdy or something, or she's going to go ballistic like she did on Raw when she was throwing her against the steps and all that sort of stuff, get counted out. I just think it's going to go, if they've already gone this far and they're starting to go with it now, I think they could stretch it another couple of months and perhaps have the payoff of Alexa winning at WrestleMania.
Let me throw a curveball at you.
Sure.
Say Uncle Howdy comes out, and it's Uncle Howdy helps Alexa. What would be the difference if Bianca's husband came out and helped her, and then they had a intergender match with the belt on the line?
I don't think there would be any difference. However, I'll throw a curve on your curve, a little knuckleball.
Knuckleball.
Montez Ford don't want that smoke.
We saw this past week
think so? Okay.
Where MVP came out during their Montez Ford, during their match, and now there's possible speculation because his interference actually cost Cedric and Shelton the match. And there was a picture taken that was on social media, which could be all of nothing, but that's what leads to conversation, that perhaps the new blood besides Amos or Omas, however he's pronounced, even though there's no A in there.
Almost.
Maybe he's recruiting the Street Profits to be part of the new business.
Okay.
And if that's the case,
I must have missed that part.
It was a picture that was on social media that furthered that. But then they're saying because of how MVP tried to help and distract to help Cedric and Shelton win, but they lost because of the distraction. Then all of a sudden you see this picture pop up of him with the Street Profits. Makes you talk like I bring it up. So going back to your curveball,
go ahead,
because I swung and missed on the knuckleball.
Go ahead.
Bianca face, if the Street Profits do align with MVP and are quote unquote on the heel side, do you have Montez Ford as a heel come out to help Bianca the babyface?
No.
Exactly. There's the picture right there.
Gotcha. But you know what? Let me say this. MVP, he needs to go.
His act is done, don't you think?
He needs to go.
If he shows up in the Rumble to wrestle, I'll puke.
The light bulb just went off.
Went off?
Went
As
off.
in went black?
Yeah.
Or an idea?
Idea. Here's who's coming back for Monday Night Raw. Teddy Long.
Hey, player. Coming back to, you know what? He's done that in the past where he's come out and announced a match. As an
Teddy
old
Long.
GM. That would
Long.
be interesting.
You're going to be in a tag team match with The Undertaker.
Teddy Long.
What you got to say about that, player? I can see that. I would enjoy Teddy coming out to announce a match like he used to.
I watched Championship Wrestling from
Hollywood?
No. Memphis. Teddy Long, the commissioner down there.
Now,
Yeah.
I remember when he was a referee.
Oh, yeah,
First
yeah.
referee, and then got out of that into
Where'd
the
you
other
see
spot.
him reffing at?
WCW.
That's right.
Yeah.
I seen him ref Mid-Atlantic Wrestling.
Really?
That's where he got to start.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's come up. So, by the way, if you have any comments, thoughts, and anything that we're talking about, please feel free to drop them into the chat room. We would love to have your thoughts. And also, hey, post your comments on the Thoughts Count Anywhere Facebook page. We can bring them up from there. And birthdays, with birthdays coming up soon here on the show, if you have a birthday or an anniversary or something you'd like us to announce on a following show, please put it there. We can pick it up. We can add it to the list. And more importantly, if you want to reach out to businesses all across the country, Las Vegas, the world, wherever your business is, you should really reach out and talk to us because we have some great advertising opportunities to reach the tens. How many views did we have for our debut show here on WWDB-TV on the network there?
A lot.
81,000.
81,000 just on the Facebook feed, and then through the WWDB-TV YouTube channel. Also is a couple of thousand, plus who knows what Roku is. Folks, that's on a 2-hour basis. My question to all you business people out there is the following. How much would it cost you in a month to try to get in front of 200,000 people in a month? How much? I want to know, because it's not going to be any more affordable than what we can offer to do to get the word out about your business. So where can they send for more information there, Mr. Matt?
Check out thoughtscountanywhere.com or email us at thoughtscountanywherepodcast@gmail.com.
There you go. And of course, while you're on the website, click the shop tab. We have some great stuff up there. Our shirts, we're going to get some new items up there. Shirts and maybe play sticks with Chief or something, his old toy or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But do check it out because you got holidays coming up. Listen, nothing says I love you on Valentine's Day than a T-shirt that says cheap and ain't easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll wear it next week.
There you go. So check it out. We would appreciate it because the Chief what?
Says so.
There you go. All right.
Hey,
Yes.
So Ronald, I think you need to talk with your management down there, and you guys need to talk to us and coming down, and we would be glad to help you out announcing down there since you don't have a commentary team yet.
Absolutely. We have a professional bell ringer. We have a professional cameraman / ring valet and security over here. We got the voices, right, to do shows and stuff. Absolutely. Have them reach out to us.
And a freaking historian.
Pass. Is that a message
That's a
from YouTube?
stretch.
John, is that a message from YouTube that came up?
I guess so.
All right, Pest, yes, we are on YouTube. Go to WWDB David Bradley TV on YouTube, and you'll see us there as well. We're live there. That's
Who's David?
and
Who's
on the
David?
Thoughts Count Anywhere page. Well, we're on the Thoughts Count Anywhere page here. Are we on that page on YouTube as well?
Yeah.
Okay, Thoughts Count Anywhere YouTube page too. And if you missed it all, that's okay. Download the WWDB TV channel on Roku. And breaking news. The phone app has been available on Android, and now, hot off the presses, is now available for your Apple device. You need to look up, see if I remember it without being told, John. WWDBTV LV, like Las Vegas. Download that so we can be taken on the road with you, whether you have an Android or if you have an Apple. So if you forget all of that, then by all means, ask again on our Facebook page, and we'll let you know. Don't need a historian when I will be there. That's why I didn't say anything about bringing the historian. So we don't need him. You got the three of us here down there. What does an organization need? Not much more, right?
True.
They just need us. All right. What's next here? Oh, ICW announced their partnership with WWE is over.
I
didn't even know they were together.
I want to know who David Bradley is.
Is he related to Bill?
I don't know. You said David Bradley.
Where did I see David Bradley?
When you were doing the all the things for where they could find us, you said David Bradley. I'm thinking, who the hell's David Bradley? When you was doing the WWDB TV, was you just saying instead of DB, were you using David Bradley?
Yes, sir. For the letters.
Don't confuse me.
Doesn't take much, folks.
Like, what is he talking about? But then, what in the military? What's the D and the B stand for when you need to give them?
Delta Bravo.
There you go. Next time I'll do Delta Bravo.
Alpha Bravo, Charlie Delta Echo, Foxtrot, Golf.
Sierra Echo Lima Delta.
Golf Hotel India. You want to know any more?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Can you tell that to me in Yiddish?
Maybe.
Sierra Hotel India Echo
That's
Lima
right.
Delta.
How'd I do over there, Jarhead? Thank you.
When Cena was at SmackDown, he filmed a segment with Austin Theory, which could lead to possible WrestleMania match because I've heard Logan Paul's name has sort of been taken out of the mix all of a sudden.
I don't know. It depends. Like, I think they're like trying to see if like he's healed in time or not. But I'd like to see Austin Theory versus John Cena. It'd be a good match.
They've been brewing that for a while, right?
Yeah.
That's been kind of out there for a bit. So we'll see what happens. WrestleMania sounds so far away, but end of March, April 1st, Not that far away.
No.
They got some work to do because they haven't really filled out the card for Royal Rumble yet, and that's a week away.
Yeah.
So, and I know once Rumble's over, you have your winners and who's going to go to WrestleMania. I know that's when things will ramp up, but but it'll keep moving. All right, let's go on to some AEW news. Oh, by the way, do we really need to shed more light on McMahon and his power over the shareholders now?
No.
That was speculated last time anyway, right? Yes, sir.
Will Rhodes go up? Rhodes go up against Reigns at WrestleMania?
If there's no Rock, that's got to be the main event of WrestleMania: Cody Rhodes versus Roman.
And if Rock does, then who does Cody go up against?
I think whoever has the title by then.
Because
Well,
I think if the titles will be split.
I would think so, yes. But there's a possibility that maybe, again, just my thought is either he's going to lose.
Don't throw a curveball at me.
I'll throw the knuckler or slider.
The slider.
Perhaps he loses both belts in a match to whomever, maybe Karrion, whoever. And then this allows, because Roman and Rock, they don't need a belt on the line, period. Because there is something on the line, and that's the title of head of the table, head of the family. That's all that you need there.
Correct.
So if they take it off, let's say, what if, we'll use Karrion's name for an example in our conversation because we love him. Let's say Karrion beats Reigns for both belts.
Yeah.
Cody and Karrion at WrestleMania?
Could see that.
Okay.
Again, I'm just.
But when are the belts going to get split up?
What's the next pay-per-view after Royal Rumble?
Elimination Chamber.
We've seen championships held in Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
All got right. I mean, it wasn't too long ago when the title holder and the other combatants were all in the chamber, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's that could be. All I'm saying is, if we're going to have a Rock Reigns, they don't need a title for that match. I think a title, if it's on Roman's waist, one or both, that's kind of like sprinkles on the Sunday, but the titles don't need to be on the line because there's no way Rock is going to win the title anyway and have to wrestle somewhat regularly.
I want to ask you this question.
Sure.
If the match is Rock and the Reigns,
Mm-hmm.
and Reigns beats The Rock, does The Rock go out to pasture then?
Well, if it wasn't, in my opinion, if it wasn't for the storyline with Roman and the bloodline, I don't think we'd be talking about Rock appearing in a ring at all. You know, I mean, even Cena, once a year, he got in on that December 30th card just to keep his 20-year streak active, right? Cena doesn't wrestle regularly. So in my opinion, if this storyline has not been as big as it has been
developed.
I don't think I don't think we would have seen The Rock. He may make appearances, you know, hosting but I don't think seeing him in the ring. I don't think he has any desire to really do it.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, when it's something as big as this,
Mm-hmm.
and again, you never say never,
of course,
because you know the last time Rick wrestled, that was supposed to be it. Well, now he's coming back Monday night, but there's rumors him and Charlotte might be getting together. Sergeant Slaughter and Lacey Evans might be getting together.
See, I could see the men in that match be the managers in the corner with those two in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I can't imagine.
No, not getting in the ring.
Right,
no, being managers.
Right, okay.
Managers.
That I'd be okay with that. They come down like that.
But what I'm saying is, with Rock and Roman, if Roman beats The Rock, what is, you know, and becomes the head of the table,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of takes The Rock out of the storyline then. And you know, you go out to greener pastures.
Yeah. The passing of the baton.
Where he doesn't have to come back to WWE if he doesn't want to.
I mean, the biggest passing of the baton that, in my mind, in history, and we've seen it in other matches. Listen, Hogan body slamming Andre at WrestleMania. That was probably the biggest passing of the baton from Andre to Hulk.
WrestleMania 3.
That really did finish Andre, because we all know, well, I shouldn't say we now know, he was sick at the time. And we saw that in his movement in his ring and the years and the condition he had, because he was mid-40s when he passed, or just barely 50, right? He was a young guy.
No, he was in his 40s.
But that passing of the baton to Hulk was important, and we really didn't see Andre in the ring anymore. He was pretty much done. I think if Rock loses to Reigns, I think the same thing will happen. He doesn't need to wrestle. No. He doesn't need it. Pass the baton, let Roman do his thing, and the rest of Bloodline, and
Yeah,
because acknowledge him at that point.
Because I just can't see Rock coming back. Oh, I'm gonna get into the I'm gonna be one of the entrants in the Royal Rumble and keep it quiet. I can't see that.
No.
Not with Rock. With Stone Cold I can, because he's done that and he's crazy enough to do it.
Right.
I really, I said Taker earlier. I don't. That's not Taker's type of match either. But I see Taker coming back.
He's going to do something.
He's going to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. I just see it.
Ronald shares with us that the main event at SummerSlam should be Rock versus Roman. I don't think it can wait till SummerSlam. I think it has to be WrestleMania if they're going to wrestle in the ring.
I've been waiting for this like 2 years now.
That's the other point. They've been brewing this story really ever since Roman became the head of the table and the storyline really blew up.
There's been too many, like, even like Young Rock when they like hinted on there.
That's right. I remember that episode. It's like, someday I'm going to wrestle you in WrestleMania.
Yep.
But yeah, so listen, this is what's fun about wrestling. We're sitting here and just talking about the possibility and ideas, which is pretty cool. Pest out there, I see, has a message. Have to crack that 1,000 like subscriptions to get monetized. 700 more to go. Well, Pest, share us, bud. Help us get there, my friend. That would be greatly appreciated. Now that we're on a new network, we are seeing our fans. We are seeing everything grow like crazy. So help us with the TCA page as well.
Greatly appreciate it.
4,700 subscribers on the WWDBTV.
Yeah, I don't know if Pest is coming in on the TCA page for that.
I don't either.
But on the WWDBTV page on YouTube, there's almost 5,000 subscribers. And I say organic for a reason. A lot of people can buy lists for automatic, you pay for lists to get people to like your page and subscribe.
Yeah.
The 5,000 likes on the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting YouTube channel are all organic, which means people found the shows, they've liked it on their own. When you like a show that you like, they're sharing it with a friend, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
And the great thing is there's like this word, Chief, you ready?
Talk to me.
Plethora
Plethora.
of shows on the WWDBTV network that draws a lot of people's interest in a lot of different areas.
Isn't that after the baby?
Yeah, plethora. Yeah, oh God.
Is a plethora a lot more than like 2 or 3 shows?
Yes.
Okay.
I think if you look it up, that's
Making
definitely
sure.
yes.
Making
At least more than one.
So when you almost confused me again.
Almost.
When you said organic, I
Yes.
thought, what the hell, man? They're growing the show now?
Well,
Organic?
theoretically, yes. they're growing the show in a way without any extra
Without
additives
additives.
or they're fertilizer, of course.
Yeah,
You're using
of course.
fertilizer,
Yeah.
but no additives.
That's what happens on screen.
That's
very well.
That's oh my goodness gracious. Anyway,
I'm leaving now.
yeah, go ahead. Don't leave the keys with us. I'll tell you that much. Although I do have a key, but anyway. All right. With that, we're at 25 after the hour. Let's step aside for our one break of the second hour, and then we'll take it right to the top. Is that good?
Alrighty then.
And we got birthdays left.
We have birthdays coming up. I have that there. Yes,
and
sir.
we got an
I'll announce that.
Yes.
Oh, you want to do it this time when we come out?
No.
No.
Matt, you want to do it?
My teeth are loose.
Your teeth are loose. Pass the stapler, please. We'll get his teeth in place. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere. More to come. Anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thoughts Count Anywhere. Y'all watching it. These are my new tag team partners, Steve-O, a.k.a. Zeus, from the hit movie Friday, and from No Holds Barred.
Hello, this is Martin Casals, aka Marty the Moth, and you're watching the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. Enjoy.
What's up, man? It's your boy, Simple Fatu. I'm here with my man, Big Chief. I need you to check out the podcast, Thoughts Count Anywhere.
This is Impact Wrestling's Dashing Chris Bay, the ultimate finesser, former Finesse Division champion, and you're listening to Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast.
Hi, I'm Sean Navari. Listen to Thoughts Count Anywhere for all your wrestling news.
It's not the worst podcast ever, is it? It's the best podcast. Thoughts Count Anywhere. All your wrestling news, all your hey, all your gimmickry. Go on over, listen wherever your podcasts are downloaded. the Thoughts Count Anywhere podcast. I'm the big LG Doc Ellis. That's my endorsement. Booyah!
This is the essential character EC3 on behalf of my dear friends at Thoughts Count Anywhere. The podcast for your mind when you need deep thinking about all things sports and entertainment.
Hey, what's going on? This is Axe, and I'm smashing the demolition.
Hey, we want to invite you to watch every Saturday morning. Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey guys, it's Tessa Blanchard and Ozzy, and you're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Hey, welcome back. Not yet, but that's okay. That's fine. We're not ready for that yet. That's good. See, we have the music all queued up, ready to go. So that's
works.
Good. It works. All right.
Train's back on track.
Okay, Jesus Christ. I swear to God, I'm going to throw something out. I swear to God.
There's no balls unless you do.
Yeah, anyway,
Hey, you know
you're
who-
the one that told us to not do stuff.
I know.
And
You know who we need to get in here?
I'm afraid to ask now.
Yeah, no
Huh?
shit.
You know who?
Tell me.
Otto,
It's been a while.
my buddy.
Where did I? Well, we saw him at UWW.
UW.
Yeah, we should. We haven't spoken to him in a while.
I
Make that happen.
I don't think he could handle it.
Oh, I think he could.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he can put up with you, he can put up with us.
But could he put up with both of us?
That's a different story. John may have to take a little extra Valium on that Saturday morning. Well, reach out to Otto, see if he's interested. We'd love to have him in the
Wonder
studio.
if Subway's still his favorite sandwich.
Yeah, John, real quickly, this Otto Von Clutch, who's a wrestler locally, we were doing a live remote from Firehouse Subs.
Our
And he
sponsor at the time.
It was a sponsor at the time. So this guy Otto comes in and he goes off. I mean, he goes off. All of a sudden he says, you know what? I'm so glad to be here because Subway's my best favorite sandwich place. And we all look at him, Subway? Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We won't be back next week. That was funny. That was actually funny as all get out. All right, let's go to some AEW news. Sean Spears, congratulations, and Cassie Lee welcome their son, Austin J. Absolutely. Congratulations to them. They're going to have the kid's got a good chance of looking pretty good when he grows up between those two folks.
Gonna be a little iconic kid.
Oh yes.
How about him and what's his name? Passed away. His son's in wears the mask and everything, gets in the ring during his birthday. Oh shit.
Brody Lee.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Brody's son. The two of them get together and become a tag team.
Oh, you mean their kid?
Yeah, the kids.
That would be
kids.
interesting. Yeah.
The kid, not Brody. Come on, man.
What?
Go continue.
Okay, you
on.
think about that. By the way, Pest,
Continue on.
we saw your message out there. And I don't know how many likes do we have on the TCA YouTube channel right now?
Oh, we have like 200 and
Because Pest, I have a challenge for you.
262.
All right, so we have 262 likes on the
Subscribers.
YouTube channel, our subscribers. So if you help us and share that page and you get us to 500 likes and subscribers on there, we will send you a TCA goodie bag of some of our swag, courtesy on us, by helping us get to 500. Now, I realize it's not 1,000 to monetize yet. Get us to 500 and we'll go from there, okay? So do that for us.
One step at a time.
That's right. Message us. We'll watch the numbers. And they have to say somehow, the new people, how about this one, to know that it's Pest, they have to send us a message saying, my friend Pest said so. And then we know that it's from you.
Oh, no.
And then we'll send the box of goodies at 500. How's that?
I'm down with that.
All right. There you go.
He's in Lithuania.
That's okay. That's all right. I don't care. Yeah, Pest, where are you, by the way?
He's
What
where?
is this? Slaughter is committing
Stolen valor.
Slaughter is committing stolen valor, right? I guess, with what he does, I guess with if he's going to get involved with Lacey and all that stuff. That's what he said. He made that comment. He made some sort of comment about Lacey Evans using the Marine stuff. Yes, not too long ago, I think.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with her using the Marine stuff. She is,
right?
She is a Semper Fi person. Absolutely. I'll get to 500 interested.
No.
Okay, I'll get
That's
to
the goodie bag.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I'll tell
To
you,
a local kid.
Pest, where are you located? Tell us where you're located. Maybe we'll send that stuff to an organization near you,
In his name?
in your neighborhood, in your name. So you can please keep sending that stuff in. We'll address that. All right. Let's move on. So,
Where are we at?
Okay. One other item about the Briscoes, which I missed this earlier. There was a campaign to raise money for Jay Briscoe's family. The goal was $200,000, and they have already surpassed it very quickly. I don't know where it is right now.
It was like 260 the last time I checked.
And that is great that they get that support. Not unlike when Damar Hamlin first got hurt. He had a charity where he was getting donations to buy stuff for kids.
Yeah.
And he only had like a couple $1,000s in the GoFundMe. And like within 24 hours or so, it was like $3 million from all the donations.
Yeah.
So please go out and help the Briscoe family if you see the cause. I'm sure it's on GoFundMe or you can look up. I'm sure you could search it and find the cause.
I'll put it in the comments. Hold on.
And the realization is we had Mr. Hosey and a gentleman on a couple weeks ago about Wrestle Connect.
Yes.
And health
Marquez.
insurance, Mr. Marquez, absolutely. Talking about health insurance and everything. And, here's a gentleman, professional wrestler who lost his life.
Yep.
And
his kid's badly injured in the accident as well.
Exactly. And wonder if they had health insurance.
It's a good question.
Because I'll tell you what.
If they're asking for this kind of money.
Exactly.
Then possibly not. And I'm glad you brought up Wrestle Connects.
Yes.
Matt, why don't you talk about Wrestle Connects and the website a little bit, and let's share that information with anybody that's involved. Even a guy like Ronald Young down in where he is in Florida, he would be eligible for it, right?
Yeah, since he puts the rings together and stuff. It's basically an organization for people in the business that will help you get medical insurance, travel discounts. They have electronic press kits. They can put all your information out there so promoters can go to one place and see as much talent as they possibly can. There's a whole lot of different stuff to get on there and memberships, and they have Sergeant Slaughter and a bunch of different other ambassadors, legends you can pick their minds from, and it's a great organization, and definitely if you're in the business, you should be a part of it.
And the website is
WrestleConnects.com.
Spell Connects because it's not the normal way you would think.
It's WrestleConnects, WrestleConnex.com.
Right. The Connects part was one I wanted to make sure that folks clearly understood. So check it out. If you do anything within the wrestling industry, heck, even us three goofy guys would actually be eligible for it as well because we participate in the pro wrestling.
I already
world
got my
here.
membership.
You do?
Yeah, I put the website together.
Oh,
It was
that's
one of
right.
the first ones.
Wow, there you go. That's good. That's
I
good.
got to get mine. You'll have to help me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ronald says in the chat room, Dax Hardwood posted a video where he accepted 3 awards on behalf of Jay and said that he was going to take care of Jay's family. So kudos to Dax Hardwood for doing that. Thoughts on Saraya turning heel on Dynamite? I didn't see it, so I don't know. I know she was supposed to wrestle with Tony Storm.
They after the match they turned.
Attacked Willow Nightingale until Ruby Soho came out and made the save.
Gotcha.
So there's
It's kind of random, and I don't know if I like it yet or not. But the heel page, I don't know. We'll see.
Wasn't she a heel in WWE though when she wrestled there? Saraya?
Not for very long.
But she was a heel, wasn't
She was
At one
a heel
point,
for a little bit, yeah.
So maybe that character fits her better. I don't know. I'm just.
But it's kind of interesting that Ruby comes out because, of course, people may remember that Paige, Saraya, and Ruby, and was it Sarah Morgan? And who was the third person? Why am I blanking?
What, for the Riot Squad?
Yeah, Liv,
It
right?
was
It was
Liv, Sarah Logan, and Ruby.
But wasn't Saraya Paige at the time part of that to introduce and bring him out? No, I thought Paige was with Ruby for a short time. Okay,
Not
well,
that I
never
remember.
mind. Scratch your thought. I swung and missed on that curveball. So, all right.
The knuckler.
I'm telling you. All right. Thunder Rosa, who can now be heard as a guest co-host on our 1,900,000 favorite episode, or show, I should say.
Who?
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa. Okay.
lot of speculation about how she wrestled before and the stiffness and reputation and stuff. People were even questioning not too long ago about her quote unquote back injury that has kept her out. As to whether that's legitimate, so to speak, but apparently she's going to be back and be ready to go into action soon.
And
I'm just saying if there's a reaction to
It'd be good to see her back in the mix. They have she's already has like a built-in storyline having to relinquish the title, so
Right.
probably put her right back in the title picture.
Okay. As well as, it should. I mean, it seems to be give her an opportunity to get back to it. So just curious about that. I mean, I don't know how people out there feel about Thunder Rosa, but I think she performs well in the ring. I mean, I think she'd be a welcome addition back. I would hope.
she's a worker.
Yes.
She's a worker.
Yep.
In saying that and talking about injuries, did you take notice on the clip for Cody when he was having
the surgery?
His surgery, where he was having the surgery at Dr. Andrews' place.
Yeah.
That's where the surgery was performed.
That's where they all go.
The best in the business.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they all go is right. You're absolutely right. All the athletes and everybody goes there.
And I would hope WWE's paying for it.
I would hope so. Either that or Cody needs to get Wrestle Connects for the next time.
Exactly. Vince, don't be a cheap bastard.
All right. That's all right. You have something there that we want to announce
Sorry
again?
about that.
Sorry, Roku.
My apologies.
Power Play Sports Cards is presenting the Sports Cards, Toys, and Collectibles show February 25th and 26th at Samstown, which is the same time Impact Wrestling will have their pay-per-view No Surrender and the TV tapings the 2 days after that. Their VIP sponsors for the show are Impact Wrestling, Game Day, Sports Breaks, Captain Ticket, My Four Sons, Comics, Cards, and Games, The Pop Shack, and Chadman Designs. It's $5 for entry. They'll have such guests as Willie Galt, Sabu, Sin Bodhi, and a bunch of Impact stars. And there's still more to be named.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Finley Mazda is a sponsor also now. They've been added to the list.
Yeah.
So
where's TCA's name on there?
What's up with that?
I don't know.
But we'll be there doing our show that day from 9 to 11 there as well. And then at noontime, I will be there doing Aaron's Hour. And hopefully we'll have a lot of Impact guests throughout all 3 hours.
I wonder if the hint for this show is like a hint for the Royal Rumble.
And
because
Impact's going to be signing?
No, because like Brian Myers is like going to be at the Sports and Collectibles show.
Yeah, he's gonna be
and
signing.
him and Matt Cardona are like a couple.
God.
If like one's there, the other's there.
Can we imagine?
So if Brian Myers is just advertised, Cardona has to be showing up next Saturday.
And then I think we get them both on the show together on TCA.
That would be good.
Unless they don't want to spoil it by having them both come on TCA. If they haven't announced Cardona.
But if Cardona is like with WWE, he's got till we'd have the week to get to him.
When's his contract, I wonder? Is he still under contract with Impact?
I don't think so.
Who's that, Cardona?
Cardona.
I haven't seen him appear on TV in a little bit on Impact. So that's a good question. All right.
Well, do some research.
You got it. Our crack research staff. We'll get on that. All right. The Last Ride tour of Mickie James will continue as she successfully beat Jordynne Grace for the Impact Women's title. And so Mickie James, how many titles has she had? Certainly, would you not agree that Mickie James is a most likely Hall of Famer to be inducted at some point?
Yeah, for sure. As soon as she's done, she's like a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure.
Titles? She's had a lot of titles.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of titles, and she held it in WWE at the time as the Divas title, of course. She's held the Impact title a few times.
Yeah.
So she certainly has had a lot of gold around her waist in order to be worthy of such a resume to be inducted, not only into, at some point, the WWE Hall of Fame, which would make sense, but probably the Impact Hall of Fame at some point as well.
Since when she loses her next match, she has to retire. Who do you think is going to beat Mickie James to put her out to pasture?
Who's still active, or would they bring somebody in from somewhere else?
Either way.
Wow. I'd have to give that a little thought. But who's obviously somebody comes to your mind?
Rosemary.
I would say Deonna Purrazzo, if anybody.
As her retirement match?
Yeah.
Oh, retirement.
Tessa
They're not going to
Blanchard.
bring in like Trish or somebody to
Tessa
Impact.
Blanchard.
That'd be cool too.
Gail Kim.
That's the other name that popped into my head. Was Gail Kim.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, there's a lot of possible.
But I'll give you one other one too. Victoria.
She was just with her in the corner.
Well, they do a podcast.
Right.
Her,
Melina.
Victoria, and Melina
Right.
do a podcast every Wednesday.
And Victoria was she was at that pay-per-view.
Yes, she was. She was with
as
her.
well. So I think she was also, I want to say she was in a match too during the card. I thought she got in the ring.
She was in the TV taping.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. That's somebody else we haven't spoken to in a while since Unicon. All right. So there's a lot of possibilities. The interesting thing about wrestling is when characters get tweaked a little bit here and there, how much more successful somebody like Mickie James is, because some of our viewers who are not like us may not realize when she came up in WWE and the initial storyline with Trish and all of that stuff before she broke away. And now you see her really a powerhouse women's performer. And, and her mind for the game. I could see her being a producer somewhere, or maybe eventually getting involved in a women's promotion behind the scenes to help or whatever.
True.
She does have a great mind for it. And, she put the past behind her with the garbage bag incident when WWE let her go. And she's just moved ahead. And I think WWE did the right thing when she came out for the Rumble last year. She came out as herself with the Impact music and everything
Impact
else.
title.
Yeah, exactly, the whole thing. And I think that was great by WWE. Whoever made that decision to make that happen, to have her come back in the right way and be honored that way, quite frankly.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
All right, we're just about ready to key up the band in a minute or two for our birthday list. We talked about Santino Marella. His daughter, though, is still wrestling at the Performance Center, right?
Yeah, Ariana Grace.
Yeah.
She's hurt right now, I think.
Oh, is
still,
she?
But
Is she? So she's already wrestled for NXT. That's right. She's on the card. So she's there. Hopefully we'll get her back. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's get to some birthdays, because then we'll get into some pop culture. We got playoffs to talk about. And we'll get started. Go for it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday music there performed by Pocket Aces. Good friend of the show, Rob Goldstein. He does a show here on the network every Tuesday called Get Lifeline. But we want to thank Pocket Aces for that. If you're celebrating a birthday today, January 21st, through next Friday, January 27th, I have to look at the calendar. 1 second. You are celebrating a birthday with these people. Today, the 21st. By the way, this is a refresh and reset from last week. Ivan Putski, Maurice, Arnold Skolin, Mark Curtis, and Tigress. Happy birthday to all you folks celebrating today. 22nd, Tully Blanchard, and from ECW, 911. Great TV show, by the way, too, 911. The 23rd.
What the hell's that got to do with wrestling?
I don't know. He said 911. It just brought something to mind.
Oh, okay. You got a mind? Okay.
No, I
talk
don't.
about boring wrestling from the 80s for too long. Talk about an entertaining show for a couple seconds.
23rd, Leilani Kai, Alex Silva, Nigel McGuinness, Tito Ortiz. On the 24th, Mike Awesome, Jerry Briscoe, Vince Russo. The 25th seems like was a pretty busy day 9 months prior to that.
What'd you say?
I said the 25th seems to be a pretty pretty bit frizzy. I can't even talk now. Pretty busy time 9 months prior. The Honky Tonk Man, Michelle McCool, the aforementioned Jay Briscoe would have celebrated a birthday upcoming. Mark Andrews, Ace Steele. Here's a name from the past. Gorgeous George. Sean O'Hare. And on the 26th, Road Warrior Hawk, Taylor Wilde, Evil. Mercedes Monet, Sasha Banks, pick a name, whatever you want. The Maestro, and I'm glad you added this, the Dean of Wrestling himself, Mr. Gordon Soley. Happy birthday to everybody on this list. If you're celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or anything this upcoming week, please do it safely so that you can be right back with us next week here on Thoughts Count Anywheres. All right. Before we get into the final couple of topics here for pop culture, anything else in wrestling that maybe has gone on that we didn't cover on the list, or some wishes or thoughts? Are you still looking up the contract status?
We're trying hard. We can't find it.
All right. Maybe it's free agent. Who knows?
Could be.
What else? What else do we want to talk about that we haven't yet?
I saw there was like an internet leak of the new WWE game coming out, and it got leaked that it might be coming out March 17th with John Cena on the cover, so he might be the showcase guy.
2K something.
WWE 2K23.
23.
And March 17th, isn't that St. Patty's Day?
Yep, sure.
And he
sure.
Sounds good.
You know, it's unbelievable. 30 years ago, Monday Night Raw started.
Yeah.
Do you remember where the first show was?
What it was not. It was in one of the smaller theaters. Was it in Philly? The same place where ECW was? The
Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein
New York
Ballroom.
City.
New York City. That's right.
What?
Sorry, Vince was in a tuxedo. The banner was hanging down off the balcony in the back.
And then as the shows went on there, do you remember when the guys came up into the balcony?
The ECW guys?
The ECW guys
took over.
Yep. That was,
and then
that was.
It was a Manhattan Center.
Center?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Is it? Okay.
But that's good wrestling because you didn't expect. We need a couple of, off shitters, to happen for coming up for the show, and for WrestleMania. We need a couple all shits.
WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights again, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You're right. There's a lot of I can't believe this just happened in front of me kind of stuff.
Exactly.
We'll see what they have in mind with this non-traditional surprises.
I've been thinking about it the whole time, and I'm running names through my mind, and I'm thinking Dusty Rhodes, I'm thinking George the Animal Steel, all people that have passed away.
Right.
My era, or coming forward, who could possibly show?
I don't think you mean to be in the Rumble or just show up at the show?
Just show up, just as a pop.
Well,
maybe throw a punch.
I'm going to say this, and I don't. There's
a
nothing,
run-in.
There's nothing goofy about what I mean by what I'm going to say. From that era of the names you mentioned, because the 2 names you mentioned obviously can't come back.
No,
that would be a great miracle. But
absolutely,
is there anybody still around who can actively from that era of wrestling even throw a punch without hurting themselves?
And
I don't say that facetiously. I mean
the only one I think about that's crazy enough. Okay, seriously, is Terry Funk, and Funk's not healthy enough.
Right,
but
he's not healthy enough. Maybe Foley comes back.
Maybe Jake.
Well, Jake is on the contract with AEW, is he not?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Well, maybe they would let him. Maybe Tony would let him graciously show up. How about Tully? Tully's not under contract now.
No, he's not. Is he healthy enough? I don't know.
That part I don't know.
Let's get somebody on the phone and find out.
That part I don't know. But it would be interesting for Tully to show.
Sure. On the 30th anniversary, absolutely. What year was it that Raw first started out at Raw is War? Remember that? Sergeant Slaughter, I remember coming out. They changed the title.
96,
Is that what it was?
I think I was at sea, so I don't know.
Okay. Because then they dropped the War part, and it just became Raw, Monday Night Raw. That just made me think that the name of the show had changed, and I remember Sergeant Slaughter was part of that.
But to see how Vince's dad started it out, down in the Washington, D.C. area.
Right.
And then Madison Square Garden, monthly shows at Madison Square Garden, the MSG network that you had to have the damn box to get the shows. House and Vince. Vince doing the play-by-play.
Yep.
With Gorilla Monsoon.
Yep.
And seeing it come forward to Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
And sometimes I've said things that I've seen on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. Vince's dad would be turning over in his grave.
Probably. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Ronald shares with us, we were talking about the holy shit moment. Ronald shares with us, how about in Rumble 95 where Bam Bam pushed Lawrence Taylor? Was that any different than perhaps where Iron Mike pushed Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Remember? I mean, they got into it, which ended up being a work later on, we found out.
But see, that's the good all shit moments.
Right. So that's why Ronald's
That's
bringing
awesome.
that one up. And then he brought up a name here. How about Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
There you go.
To appear.
What about Bret Hart?
Bret Hart would pop me for sure.
Yeah. Well, Shawn Michaels is supposed to be there on Monday night as well. Could you imagine? I mean, it would be interesting if Bret Hart does come and they end up, in the ring together somehow or doing something together. I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I think the crowd would love it.
How about the Glamazon?
Well, her name has come up.
How about Medusa?
Her name, I've heard her name possibly showing up around.
Just saying.
Yeah, listen, there's a world of possibilities, and as much as I think the crowd would love to see Lita and Trish, and whatnot,
that gets old.
But but that's been done exactly right, and that's
Trish never gets old.
Well, but you know what I'm saying.
I bring anybody back. Bring back Stacy Keibler.
There's a good one.
Yeah,
legs, absolutely. Yeah,
she's coming.
How about Jerry the King? Just bring.
He's going to be there.
Bring Jerry back.
His name was on the list.
Yeah, I like Jerry the King.
He'll probably be on commentary.
Good old JR.
He's on the contract to AEW. I don't see, especially now with Vince back in control. I don't see that happening.
True.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 8 minutes left. By the way, before we get into some pop culture, which can be two main things, of course, as well as the playoffs this weekend. Kevin Nash made some interesting comments on his podcast this past week that sent a red flag up for a lot of people for concern between the loss of his son and then the accident this week with Jay Briscoe. He made some comments on there that alluded to the possibility of having had enough. We'll just leave it that way. He came back after many people reached out to him to check on him. Apparently, he came back and said he was fine. It was just an emotional reaction at that time, talking about everything.
And also coping mechanism is sarcasm,
right? And also lost to Scott Hall. I should have thrown it. So he's had the trifecta. I don't know how close he was to Jay Briscoe. I don't know how close that relationship was.
Those comments were made before Jay Briscoe.
Oh, they were made just before. Okay, I thought it was right at the same time, just after. So hopefully all is well with Kevin. If sarcasm is his coping mechanism, let's hope that's all that it is.
Yeah.
And if it's not, I hope he reaches out to some people, or people have reached out to him to help him get through that. All right, we got about 6 minutes left, 7 minutes. Couple of pop culture topics. Locally, this affects one theater, but apparently Regal Theaters is filing bankruptcy. And we know of at least one Regal Theater here in Las Vegas. That's the one over at Village Square Shopping Center, Fort Apache and Sahara, closing maybe within a month or two because they're not renewing the lease. And I think that's happening in about 30 days. The parent company that runs this branch of Regal Theaters, they're actually over in United Kingdom in England somewhere, I believe.
Oh, wow.
So I did see this yesterday, and they've already started closing theaters across the country.
That's crazy.
So, and of course, this stems from the pandemic, I think, financially, where we know people were not going out to the movies for at least 2 years. And then everything being on stream earlier and whatnot, streaming companies really taking off. Now I think we're seeing a domino effect.
It's like really hard to go to the movies now and like spend all that money on like popcorn and whatnot. When you're like when you know the movie's coming out on like HBO Max and you can watch it on your phone or TV in like 2 weeks.
And just the prices to go alone. If you do want to do something different to go see a movie, tickets are $15, $20 a piece. Then the popcorn is like
$300.
Right, you need a mortgage to go to the movie.
Sodas are like $2.50.
Yeah, I mean, when we go, quite frankly, my wife, we take in some bars, we take in our own snacks, we take in our own water bottles, even though you're not supposed to. But I'm paying enough for the tickets to be entertained. I don't know if I want to spend $50 for a bag of popcorn.
Good, I think that's what we always do to go to, like, especially like that Regal Theater.
Yeah.
There's like all the fast food places around there, so you just wear cargo shorts, load your pockets up.
And then Cold Stone ice cream 2 doors down.
You know, when I went to the movies, it cost me
a nickel.
They were silent.
It cost me 10 cents to get in.
Someone had to hand crank the
It
film.
cost me a nickel for a soda, a nickel for popcorn, and a nickel for candy.
And the drive-ins,
25 cents. I could go all day on Saturday and watch movies.
Yeah, because you go from one to the right.
Watch them. No, it was all in the same theater.
Well, yeah, they had the cartoons ahead of time and all that. But there were a lot of kids would jump from theater to theater. When one is done, you go to another
Today,
theater room.
yeah, I guess they do.
Now, drive-ins were also big. There was only one drive-in here, which is I don't think the Rancho drive-in is open anymore, is it?
I'm not sure.
It is open. I mean,
I thought so.
Because drive-ins, you used to hear the stories. You know, one person driving and there's 20 kids stuffed in the trunk to get more people in.
Yeah.
You know, for a carload.
Never done that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Never done.
So we get nostalgic again. Pest says, I don't know. I still like going to the movies. The ones with that server food to mama. Love those. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm reading it right. The seats too. I agree with the
so
seats.
much better.
Yeah, I agree with the seats. You get the recliners that you can, lay all
those
the way
are
back.
awesome.
That was a very good
Now you
move.
got to make sure you're not tired when you go to a movie because you're comfortable enough that you might just go to sleep.
That's right, Jen. The good old days. You're absolutely right, hon.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to. We have a couple of minutes left. As you can see by my attire and my helmet on the table, we have a little football action going on. So I don't know. How did you guys do on your picks last week? I went 5 for 6.
I think I went 2.
I should have brought the sheet in.
I think I went
apologize,
3.
didn't.
So I think I went 500, 3 and 3.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I think I went like 2 and 4.
Okay. The only game I blew was, of course, the Dallas Niners game. No, not. I'm sorry. No, not them. Dallas and Buccaneers. I'm sorry.
He talks about me. He talks about me.
I do it just to make you feel good. I just do it to make you feel good. We need dueling banjos music behind all of this shit. 'Cause that's what it sounds like all the time. Okay. So let's get to it. Kansas City and the Jaguars kicking off.
Uncle Guido, I need some help out here.
In about an hour, I believe Kansas City and the Jacksonville Jaguars are kicking off. Your selections. Let's go around the horn.
I don't think WWE is going to have to worry about sending Tony Khan a belt after about 2 hours from now. I think Kansas City is going to blow out the Jaguars.
Okay, Chief?
My heart says Kansas City, but I want to see Jacksonville win.
So you're taking Jacksonville?
I am.
I'm kind of the same way. I just, worst case scenario, I want to see the Jags make it competitive. I don't want to see a blowout. I think what we saw in the second half of last week, how great a coach Doug Peterson is to help Trevor Lawrence kind of right the ship. He is like one of only 2 quarterbacks that threw for 4 interceptions and 4 TDs in the same playoff game. Unfortunately, he created history for the wrong reason and then the right reason. Worst case scenario, I just want to see them be competitive. But I think at home, that's worse than the Giants going to play in Philly later on tonight. We'll get to that in a second. I have to go with Kansas City with my head on that one, but I hope Jaguars keep it close. As I just mentioned, the primetime game tonight, 5-something local time, 8 o'clock East Coast, the Giants and Eagles. I don't need to talk about who I'm rooting for. Guys?
I'm going with Vanilla Vic.
Okay.
I want the Giants to upset the Eagles.
Okay.
Just so it makes it easier on the Niners next week, and I can talk hella shit during the show
Let's get there
the whole
first.
time.
Ronald says Jags because they are the only Florida team left. That's a homer pick.
Eagles.
Okay. By the way, the NFC East has 3 of its 4 teams obviously in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
They are only the second division since like 1990 to have 3/4 of their division in the playoffs. Which is interesting, which means at least out of this, one of them is going to get to the divisional finals, which would be interesting. All right, tomorrow, the Buffalo Bills and the Bungles. Tough game. It's a reuniting of the two teams from a couple of weeks ago that the game was suspended and canceled because of DeMar Hamlin. Different atmosphere. This is now the playoffs. They are playing in Buffalo, I believe.
They're in Buffalo.
They're in Buffalo. So, Matt, your thought. We know who Thomas would be picking if he's here, so we don't have to worry about that pick.
I think it just depends on which Josh Allen shows up. If they played like they did last week, I think the Bengals are going to take it. But if they have like the right motivation and the good Josh Allen shows up, I think the Bills will pull it out. So I'm going for the Bills.
Okay.
I think the Bills have to establish a running game.
Okay.
They didn't do that last week. If it wasn't for Allen and their wide receiver opening the field up so that there could be plays, I think Buffalo would have lost last week. Therefore, I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay. Last week Buffalo had a hard time with Miami, and Miami played the third-string quarterback who did very well for himself for the most part, but made a crucial turnover towards the end. So I'm glad Miami kind of stayed close in the game. But God, this is one of the worst toss-up games. I'm going to pick the Bengals only because they're home. On the road. They're a great road team in the playoffs, as we've seen. Thank you, Jennifer. We'll see you in an hour.
My heart actually says Buffalo, but I think the Bengals.
Okay,
I really.
I'm with you on that. And last but not least, tomorrow night's late game, Dallas going into San Francisco. Matt, I'm going to totally skip you because we know you are a Niners fan.
To all you Cowboys fans out there, you have 24 hours left.
I too am going to pick.
You guys got next year, maybe.
I too am going to jump on the Niners wagon because I want to see Dallas lose. That's why I picked Tampa Bay last week. Your pick, sir.
I don't have one for that game.
Just pick one. Pick a name.
Niners.
It better be the right one, too.
Dallas.
You're fired.
All right, with that, that's our picks, which are for nothing more than entertainment purposes. Do not put the house, the farm, or a paycheck on it because we certainly don't. Anyway, all right. That's it for our show today. Join me in an hour. I have Nicole Vegas coming on and Patrick Frazee coming on in an hour. Gentlemen, final thoughts for the show.
Everybody have a good, safe week. Try to stay warm out there. It's been freezing all week.
It has.
Signed up for the damn desert.
Chief.
I don't do this enough. I love you guys. Let's have a good week, folks.
Well said. I love you guys, too. It's a lot of fun doing the show with friends. With that, reminder, 1 hour, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips right here, so hopefully it won't go too far. Be kind to everybody. Why is that? We are all we have. Next week, these guys are going to talk about Royal Rumble. I will try to check in from Northern California. I may have to buy some 49er shit just for Matt. Have a great week, everybody. From all of us here at Thoughts Count Anywhere, and even John behind the counter, even for him. Thank everybody for watching. We'll see you next week.